Welcome back to another episode of the Gimmick Podcast.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tyler. Hopefully this time I got the sound mixed a little bit better with both of our mics. It was just mine was slightly a little lighter on the sound or volume, I mean. Hopefully you guys couldn't tell, but I could. Before, like I did a little bit of sound editing to make it sound a little bit better on my end, but we'll see.
Hopefully.
So yeah, you just wanna. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
So I was thinking with the new WandaVision series and Loki coming out, and Black Widow being pushed back again, I thought maybe now's a good time to kind of talk Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Man, I after you, because we don't talk about what we're really going to talk about. Like, I just asked if she had an idea of what she wanted to talk about, and I told her not to tell me just so I could try to not know. But she mentioned WandaVision, and I'm like, oh shit, that the newest episode 3 came out. We could watch that before we do the podcast, and then I forgot about that, and we started doing the podcast. So
that's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to keep it fresh so that our opinions are kind of fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
We don't want to talk about stuff and then be like, oh fuck, we got to talk about it again. It's not going to work. So, yeah. So we watched the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, and what'd you think, Miss Positive?
I liked it.
Okay. What else?
Now, my thought is she was doing this to herself, but
Doing what to herself?
whatever this reality or whatever she's in, I thought she was doing it to herself. But
So you think this is like in her head?
Well, at first I kind of thought that maybe, but the whole Wanda, who's doing this to you? Like little mumbles at the end and stuff, kind of made me think that that's not the case. And Agnes.
Who's that? Oh, her neighbor?
Yes.
Yeah.
That I think she's supposed to be someone that Wanda knows. I think she is supposed to be
You think she's
Wanda's witch mentor.
Are you sure that's not an infiltrator and somebody who's a bad person?
Maybe, but
She's one of the people working for Sword.
Well, maybe not. Maybe she's trying to counteract what Sword did to her. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like, you don't throw in a character called Agnes like that and have her always conveniently coming in at particular times and all this kind of stuff, and not questioning the weird stuff that Wanda's doing. Because that means to me that she knows. And her name's Agnes. Agatha Harkness is Wanda's witch mentor.
Oh, in the comics?
Yeah. So that kind
They're
of...
throwing you off with that. It seems a little too on the head. But
maybe I'm not sure what all is going on just yet.
Yeah, but what did you think of the show as a whole?
I've enjoyed it. I kind of like the whole going through the whole sitcoms of the different eras and stuff. I think that's going to be really fun. And apparently I was reading an article. So Dick Van Dyke literally helped them with these first couple episodes.
How? Isn't he dead?
No.
Oh, I thought he was dead.
He's 90-something and no. He's still around.
Oh, because of the old sitcom thing?
Yeah,
But why would they even need help? I feel like you could just watch the stuff and just get just as much knowledge as you need to get the look.
There. You have somebody who's literally there. Hey, this is how we did this. Okay, and to get the comedic timing right, because it felt like it's literally that opening the shot where they're going into the house, and like they fall over or whatever. Wanda falls. That's like the Dick Van Dyke little what is that? The little like seat that he always trips over. in the opening shot. But there are once in a while though he doesn't hit it. Like there's always like they always do that bit live so it's always different. And it's so funny. I love it. Apparently he didn't realize what a big deal Marvel was when he started helping out on this.
Really? Yeah, so my thoughts is that the whole black and white, which I guess now that we're at the end of episode 2, it seems like there's color.
Brady Bunch and things
but the whole like I don't know, that whole old-timey show thing got old real fucking quick. Like after the first episode, even during the first episode, I'm like, dude, I hope this isn't the whole fucking season.
The black lady that was in that second episode, I think she was that one friend.
At what part of the episode was she in?
At the meeting.
Dude, it's been a while since we watched this. It's like been a week. I don't remember. The show was boring. That's why I'm not remembering any of this stuff. It was boring to me.
Well, according to the internet, shit's about to ramp up, so.
Okay.
Anyway.
Goddamn better. Well, dude, if I want to watch those type of shows, I'll just watch those type of shows.
I kind of liked, because I have a feeling what they're going for is that, like, this is Wanda's safe place. Like, maybe like she used to watch these sort of things all the time as sort of like a self-soothing thing. Maybe. So that's where she goes to in a time like this in her head. So who's your favorite Marvel character?
Marvel favorite one?
Yeah.
Oof. Thanos.
I don't know. It's tough because I like Captain America, I like Spider-Man, and I really like Loki too. Which I feel just about sums me up as a person.
Yeah. You say, you said favorite Marvel character, you can't give me 3.
I know, it's just hard to pick.
So who do you pick?
But I also really like Black Widow too.
Who do you do voodoo? Who do you pick?
Cap, maybe.
Jesus Christ, that's so boring. Loki is the more interesting character to pick.
Loki is fun. I like
Captain
Loki.
America is such a basic answer.
He's not though.
Yeah.
The right thing is not basic.
The right thing is not basic.
See, you're so wrapped up in your Leia's onion, boy, that you don't get characters like
Leia's
Superman.
onion? Is that a different word for pussy?
No, I'm quoting Shrek. You're so wrapped up in your Leia's onion, boy, that you can't see what's right in front of your face.
Dude, Captain America is like what a 3-year-old would say as their favorite character.
No, I think Chris
You would not hear a 3-year-old say
complexity.
You would not hear a 3-year-old say, "Oh, Loki."
You might.
No way.
But I don't know. Chris Evans gives him a lot of complexity. I also kind of like aspirational characters. Like I like people that strive to do the right thing, even when it's difficult, and they make difficult choices.
Who do you think are the 3 most common answers for favorite Marvel character? I know exactly who they are.
Especially right now, I like the fact that someone in his first comics, he's punching Nazis.
Okay.
I love that.
But anyways, you got Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man.
Okay.
Those are the 3 main. Then you got maybe Hulk because kids like to smash things. But, the other 3 are going to come before Hulk.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by common. Is that, Captain America. Most kids are going to say between him and the other 2. Do you have, what do you like about Loki?
I see. You're so wrapped up in your Leia's onion, boy.
You don't explain what that means, though. You just keep saying that as like a saying, but you don't explain. Why?
Because you like to go all dark and broody, Mr. Slytherin Virgo.
That's what I like, though. It's entertaining to me. It's something different.
You're so wrapped up in your dark bullshit that you can't see beyond that.
For Marvel, they did it so bad leading up to the last few movies that it's not. I like that when it's a good type of dark, where they actually do it right, not just to do it, but it works when they do it.
I know, but you are also obsessed with Batman and all that too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And again, you crack me up with your ridiculous, like, you like the darkness and, you know, Batman's the angstiest loner that ever angst alone. Oh, hey, Robin. Hey, Alfred. Oh, hey, Batwoman. How are you? Oh, hey, Catwoman. Oh, hey, like, Red Robin. They're so, like, he loves to act like he's this loner, and he's got a whole ass support network.
Yeah, but people can be
he likes to be all angsty and lonery. But bro, you got all the support.
People can be alone even if people are around them.
That's what I mean. So wrapped up in your layers, you can't see the friend beside you. Or
That's like, but
y'all act like you're so like. That's what I loved about Lego Batman is that they point that out. Like, you love to act like you're some like, but you're not. You're a scared little boy who needs a support network. So stop it and act right.
That'd be like saying a soldier is not by themselves because they have a support group around them. Maybe all the people around them don't understand what they're going through.
No,
everything about that. Batman has been through some shit.
So has Robin.
Not as much as Batman.
Yeah.
Batman worse.
That's literally the point, is that they both had their parents die in front of their eyes.
So, but we're talking about stuff after that. Batman has done other things that are traumatizing.
Sure, and Robin's come along for the ride too.
Not for all of it.
But anyways, like...
Plus, Robin gets killed off, and Batman experiences that, which is another layer.
Mm-hmm. But again, he comes back and blah, blah, blah. But my point being, you like the dark characters, but you don't see the worth in a Captain America, which is funny because Cap's the one that's going to make a difference. Cap's the one that is going to be your friend, Iron Man. Captain one's going to
be Iron Man.
Well, no, he's going to be there. Like, just like in that letter he wrote, like, I'm still here, bro. Like, this little letter at the end of Civil War basically saying, like, I hope you're not too mad. Like, I'm still here.
Man, that was a kind of a letdown. Civil War, when you realize nothing really happened.
Well, I mean, yeah, there were consequences.
In the comic book version of Civil War, it was like a bloodbath.
It was, but then again, everything gets rewritten.
That made me think Infinity War nothing was gonna fucking happen. I'm like, if they didn't do anything in Civil War, what the fuck are they gonna do?
Think you fell for the rope-a-dope.
No, they didn't prime me for shit because I mean, technically, how many people really died in Endgame? By the end of Endgame, I mean, you can't count the snap as killing anybody because most of those people came back.
But the people that lived through it still have that trauma.
So
in that case, it's 2.
Wow.
Ultimately.
Wow.
But
2.
That was in service of bringing the others back. Well, 3 if you include Thanos. And then everybody on Thanos' team.
2 people. Yeah, Thanos' team don't matter. Nobody cares about those offshoot characters. We knew they were going to have to die.
A version of Gamora, a version of Nebula.
Which don't matter if these characters come back. Because we're not going to think of it as a different person. We're going to think of it as, they survived.
Again, that's how any comic book works.
Oh my God.
DC has its crises and Marvel has its wars. That is how comic books work, like a soap opera.
Yeah, they come out with new versions of stuff later, but it is not the same story arc. There are characters that die. And then, it's easier in the comics because it's the comics.
And then wait a few months and then they'll find some timey-wimey whatever thing to bring them back.
No, they'll just reboot them as a new storyline.
It's literally, DC calls it the Lazarus pits, man. There are literal pits to bring you back to life. It's Batman.
A huge portion is because they want to keep making money, but Disney doesn't have the balls to put somebody in a pit. The only person so far is Black Widow, and we know that motherfucker's coming back.
No, she's not.
We know she's coming back. Why would they do an origin story after the character dies and never revisit it?
Because it's going to be Florence.
Florence?
Is going to be the new Black Widow.
Who's Florence?
Florence Pugh, the blonde. Her blonde sister.
Do you know for a fact?
Black Widow.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be a blonde chick. Have they already announced the casting? Who is it? You?
Florence.
No, a person who's the actress's name?
Florence.
Who's Florence?
Florence, literally the person I was just talking about.
Who is that? I thought that was a character.
No, that's the actress's name.
They've already come out and said that there's a new Black Widow?
Well, in this movie...
Is this a rumor that you're talking about?
I think it's... I'm pretty sure it's confirmed.
Pretty sure? I think that's pretty sure a rumor. She's just called the new Black Widow or something?
No, but from what Florence is saying and the way that she's still working out, like she's still on the Marvel train, tells me she's coming back and that we're passing the Black Widow torch to her sister.
Florence Pugh?
Pugh. P-U-G-H.
Let's see. What is this? Who's Florence Pugh? Wait, what has she played in before? She looks familiar.
Yeah, Midsummer. She's in a bunch of stuff.
I haven't seen it though.
Little Women. I know you have
the baton to Florence for the more MCU films. Mm-hmm. More. What did she play in the movie?
She's gonna be in Black Widow.
Oh, she's gonna be in Black. Oh wait, was she the chick that was in the wrestling movie?
Yes. Fighting with My Family. Yes, that's what you've seen her in.
So she's the young version, or is she a friend in the Black Widow movie?
She's in it. Of course, that's what
they say that this is the ending. There is no fucking way. This is a fucking rumor. There's no way that's true.
We'll see.
This is a long-standing rumor. It ain't true.
We'll see. I think it could happen. It would make sense. This
is all back in like a year fucking ago.
I also want to talk about the death of Black Widow too. That was some bullshit. That was some serious bullshit, y'all. That made me so mad. Why the world need Clint Barton? Why the world don't need Clint Barton? They don't.
Will also
Black Widow, though. The fact that she felt like it had to be her because Clinton has a family that he literally abandoned and instantly went emo dark.
Wait a minute. Dude, this ain't even...
Talking about how he needs to be over here and redeem himself, blah, blah, blah. But we let her take the fall. We don't have Clint try to redeem himself by going. We make it Black Widow instead. Because Clint has a family. But she's a monster because she can't have kids. So she can just throw herself off a fucking cliff. That really bugged me.
I don't think she's going to be called Black Widow if it's past.
They might change the thing.
Because she's her own character, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
No, but what was I going to say? This isn't even an origin story.
No, it's not an origin story. It's a interstitial.
Yeah, you know what it's between?
It's like the 2000s, isn't it?
No, it's between Civil War and Infinity War.
Okay.
Why? What is the fucking point of this?
Well, I think we're setting up Florence.
Dude, couldn't they do that in like the current movies somehow? Do we need this?
Well, I think we're doing this movie because people still want Black Widow. And then they go passing the torch.
They go, oh, this is wait, how did they say this? They go, a proper send-off. What was Endgame?
Not.
That was a perfect send-off. What are you talking about?
No, it wasn't.
Yes, that was great.
It pissed me off.
Why?
Clint can't throw himself off a cliff even though he's talking about how he needs to redeem himself and all this tragic, angsty loner bullshit. No, the woman's gotta do it. The woman's gotta sacrifice herself. Of course she does. And of course she's a monster because she doesn't have kids. So now Clint gets to go home to his kids. But now he feels like he needs to
I like how you say, of course, it's a woman who has to do it. Yeah. Dudes in stories all the time sacrifice themselves.
Literally, who are the two people that get sacrificed on that cliff?
Sure. But I'm saying in stories in general, guys are known for sacrificing themselves.
Not real often.
Yes.
There's a lot of women in stories that get fridged. And I hate it. And I hate this.
Isn't fridge different than voluntarily sacrificing yourself?
It is being sacrificed. It's being disposable, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at.
No, well, first of all, you can't even say Black Widow is being fridged. You can't, because she's been in so many. She's had such a big story. You can't. If you say that means you say it for every fucking female character who has ever died, and that's wrong.
No, but I don't like the icky implication that the quote-unquote monstrous, childless woman.
Bro, Iron Man did it. In the first Avengers.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's a personal growth thing of this selfish man.
It's a lot of the superhero films.
Selfless.
A lot of the superhero films, they, at some point, fake you out by sacrificing themselves. So I think Thor has done it.
Yeah, Iron Man did it a couple times too.
A couple times. That's crazy.
But my thing...
And one real one.
Yeah. My thing is...
That's a big one.
My thing with it was the way that, Clint was talking about redemption and, family and all this stuff. And what Black Widow says to him is about going back to his family and being this, like blah, blah, blah.
But the thing is, why is it's not Green Arrow, is it? What's his name? Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, yeah.
That's how much he makes a difference in all this shit. What was Hawkeye abused or something growing up, or why is he Hawkeye?
He's just got great aim.
Jesus.
Hawkeye's got...
That's like the worst superhero ever.
Hawkeye has special talents. That may make things very difficult for you. He's got great
25 minutes.
He's got great hearing. He's got great vision, and he don't miss when he hits.
Yeah.
So he went into a bunch of these specialized trainings. Now Clint does get really interesting in the comics that he loses his hearing, which I think is really interesting. Like him figuring out, what do I do as a deaf person now? And one moment I really like too is when Deadpool and Hawkeye meet. Deadpool realizes Hawkeye is deaf and pulls his mask up so that he can see his lips, so that he can lip read, and he starts signing.
Why not just sign?
Because the lip reading thing is also really useful.
Yeah, but how can you look at both?
Like this?
Yeah, but you can't look at both.
You can't. It helps. Lip reading helps. But my point being, it's a courteous gesture, and I kind of love it. I think that's a really cool moment. which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it complicates Hawkeye's character a little bit. I don't like that we killed Black Widow, though. I never liked that we killed Black Widow. When Clint was over here basically begging to die. I guess what kind of bothers me about that most, the fact that she doesn't feel like she's redeemed herself. Or somehow still feels like she's monstrous or something. Whereas Hawkeye has been over here slaughtering people in Asia for how long? Like, bro.
What is he doing there?
Well, when he was doing the whole Ronin thing. Like,
wasn't he killing bad guys?
Yeah, or whatever.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, what family does she have? I think everybody's dead in her family at that point. Except for maybe her sister, apparently.
We'll see. I don't know. I just kind of felt like, I don't know. It just didn't sit right. Her being the one to do it.
So you'd rather have been Hawkeye?
Kind of. I think everybody would have preferred it.
Why?
Hawkeye.
Why?
Because Hawkeye, from a story perspective, Hawkeye has been talking about redemption. Hawkeye has been talking about all that kind of stuff and like wanting to make up for things and wanting to like do right or like whatever, or feeling like he's not living up. So we put him in this spot where he can do that. But we still got to make Black Widow do it. And Black Widow still feels like she has, after all of the good stuff that she has done, still doesn't feel like she's redeemed. Still doesn't feel like she's a good person or whatever. And categorically, bro, like she has worked so hard and done so much.
Yeah, now, here's the thing. I've been listening to this and what you're saying. And I, in my head, switched the genders. Made Black Widow in my head a man and Hawkeye a woman, right? So this person who doesn't get a lot of attention in these movies, put to the sidelines. And then you have Black Widow, who is like a main character and has lots of attention. And you thought that she shouldn't have been the one to sacrifice herself, and that the character who didn't get a lot of attention and, you know, there's so much potential should be killed. Now imagine if that was a woman, right? And the guy sacrificed himself for this woman who didn't get a lot of attention and would now be able to shine some more. Maybe you could put a little bit more spotlight on him. What would you have said? You would have said, it's fine. I think that that character has had a lot of story and that it was time for that character to go.
Maybe.
Let's say it was switched, right? Black Widow didn't really get a lot of attention on this thing. She's been there. I mean, Hawkeye was there since Avengers 1, right?
Yeah, they both have.
Yeah. And so let's say
she's been there around longer, but even then she didn't get a ton of story.
Oh, dude, she was like the main focus for a lot of it. She had dope fighting scenes. She had big storylines. Meanwhile, Hawkeye was hardly utilized. Now, let's say if Hawkeye or Black Widow had the Hawkeye treatment and Hawkeye had the Black Widow treatment, how would you have felt in that scene if you wanted it to still be Black Widow?
And that's the thing.
Or Black Widow died instead of Hawkeye.
See, and that's the tricky thing about that scene is that it's like the selfless That's so weird.
Yeah.
They literally fight each other to be able to die.
Well, they know that somebody has to do it. One of the two.
Yeah.
And so
I guess in my mind, yeah, you know, Hawkeye felt a little bit sparish, and he's literally over here talking about redemption and wanting to like do whatever. And you know, so it just kind of felt like, I guess from a story perspective, like you let Hawkeye do it because he wants to. Then you have Black Widow come and like
now
tell his family that, you know, he died honorably, he did whatever, you know, like your dad is this awesome person, and now he gets this little like cult of personality.
All right, but let's say in that scenario though, he did end up being the one that went because he had the major role, you'd have been like, oh, she needed a man to save her.
No, it's not about him saving her. It's about them saving the world.
See, now, how come you didn't say that when we were talking about it earlier? It's about saving the world all of a sudden, and so it's okay?
It's about saving the world.
So then what's wrong with it that she had it happen to her?
Just a little bit of the way that they did it just kind of a little piece of me it doesn't sit right.
You just don't like Black Widow disappearing.
Well,
I think Scarlett's just over it.
What I don't like is a lot of the way they made Black Widow feel. They constantly were just chipping at her and her self-esteem and like all this stuff. Oh, you can't have kids? Oh, you're a monster.
Is Scarlett Johansson the highest paid woman in film?
She's up there at least.
She's gotta be. With all of those movies, that's something nobody ever talks about, but I'm pretty sure she's the highest paid.
I don't know.
Like in a year, like
she is or not. But
she had to have been paid more than fucking any other actress. I can't imagine somebody getting more than her in fucking what she got paid for Endgame.
Honestly, I don't know. I imagine she's up there.
I wonder if she gets paid more for Endgame than Black Widow.
We'll see.
Because Black Widow's a small film.
We'll see.
But it's more of her.
I'm excited for Black Widow, though. That's going to be fun to see.
I don't know. I thought it was origin.
I don't like the way I guess it's the way they keep telling her she's a bad person. Meanwhile, Clint's over here getting all these passes.
She's a bad
Tony's
person.
Over here getting all these.
You say
passes.
Clint?
Yeah.
Clint.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Clint's Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, yeah.
I can never remember his fucking name.
We're giving Tony all these passes. We're giving Clint all these passes.
Tony wasn't getting a pass in that first fucking film, and he had it come back to bite him throughout the series.
Uh-huh. Oh,
because of his past mistakes.
Destroying robot. Oh, that's okay, Tony. We all make mistakes.
I thought, wait. What was the real story behind Ultron? Was it Tony or what was it?
It was Tony.
Didn't we talk about this before and you told me it wasn't Tony?
Well, in the comics, it's not. It's Hank.
So Tony did it in the movies, but not in the comics?
Basically, we've transferred a lot of what Hank is in the comic to Tony. The brilliant inventor, blah, blah, blah.
Because Hank is just so old, and it's like, why would we let him be the star?
Also,
everybody likes
Marvel
Tony Stark.
never forgave Hank for hitting Janet. Never.
That's all he has to do for people that hate him?
Oh, yes. They basically have said fuck you for 30 years.
What was
because he hit Janet.
I don't know anything about this. What's the scenario?
He's an asshole.
That's it? There's no context.
That's it.
Why did they write it in there?
He flies off the handle at one point and
he's an alcoholic or something?
No, he just flies off the handle one day and he's kind of volatile as it is, but he's
Hank Pym?
Yeah, he's volatile in the comics. He's very volatile. Again, a lot of the Tony, that very we get a lot of that with Hank.
Who did Hank hit?
His
Wasp?
Wife. Yes, the original Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer, essentially in the comics,
and he just hit her.
One day he's always kind of been a very hot-headed character, and then he hit her in the comic, and the whole fandom basically said "fuck you" simultaneously. They have tried so hard to get him out of fandom jail. They have tried to revamp him so hard. They have tried to redeem him so hard. And the fans won't have it. And I kind of love that. But on some level, Hank is just no. We love Janet too much. Janet the Wasp is an awesome character. And the fact that Hank dare, the whole fandom was basically no, fuck you. So I'm not surprised we never got much of Hank. And that's the smart move. Give Tony most of his stuff. Let Hank be a little bit involved, but keep him a little sidelined. Yeah. I'm curious how we're gonna handle the Fantastic Four and Mr. Fantastic, because Mr. Fantastic's kind of an asshole.
I wonder.
Too.
Wait. Let's get back here for a second. I think that's why they didn't use the name Hank Pym for Ant-Man. That has to be the reason.
He was the original Ant-Man.
No,
Scott's
but what I am
Ant-Man.
saying though is I think that's why I think Scott is a new character.
No, Scott's been in the comics since the 90s.
But he was a Ant-Man?
Yes.
Well, then how come this article from the Atlantic, they're like, this was before the movie came out. They go, Marvel's latest movie hero, Ant-Man, abused his wife. Mm-hmm. And they talk about Hank. They don't talk about a Scott or anything.
Right, because Scott's the second Ant-Man.
Yeah, but they don't talk about him at all.
Right, because Scott didn't hit anybody.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like...
He's the original Ant-Man.
Are you sure Scott was a thing before?
Scott, I think, became a thing in the later 90s.
I don't think so. Because I think in the 90s is when Hank hit her.
Yeah, it was the mid to late.
I think it said something in here. It's like...
It's in there. It's around that time period. But anyways, like...
Oh, it's in the 80s he struck his wife.
They kept trying to rehab Hank so many times, and the fans just won't have it. And so finally they brought Scott around to be the Ant-Man. Like, they still want an Ant-Man, but they don't want Hank. So they bring in Scott, and his movie origin is basically his origin. And so you can
Dude, it's funny. The writers have been trying so hard to come up with reasons. And everybody hates this character. It's guys, the character isn't real. They're trying to get past it. Just let's forget that moment.
Fuck it. No.
Why? The character isn't real.
Who gives a shit?
Blame the writers. Why can't the character be a good character?
I love
the outrage
that the fandom. No, just quietly, like nobody was all like blah blah blah. It's just like, no, I'm not interested. Hank, ew.
Dude, the Hank is
it was almost like
that is so weird.
Simultaneous, like, no.
That is a weird thought, though.
There wasn't this huge, like...
It's not really describing why.
No.
I couldn't find the context in it. But anyways, it's funny because it's literally a character somebody wrote, right? Mm-hmm. This character can't help what the writers give it. Uh-huh. And people are acting like this is a real person. Yeah, it's like, it's a weird thing in your mind because you're like, the character did it. Even if what if the writers are like, that never happened?
Oh,
people would still.
Oh, they tried.
But it's a character. I don't get why it's so. It's like if they don't want it to be that what the character did, and they've tried to get rid of it. Why can't we let that just be a thing that it never happened then?
Because the fandom basically got together and decided he's out. That's
so weird. Because it's not a real person.
And it wasn't like this huge, like, rah, screaming thing. It was just everyone just decided, no, thank you.
It couldn't be a rah-rah thing because it was the 80s and there was no social media. Mm-hmm. You got to remember, things weren't like it is now. At the most, maybe picketing, but who would have the money that's a comic book reader to go all the way over to where Marvel is making their comics and picket them? Plus, would it make the news? Like, there's a lot of factors. They didn't have the internet then that was public. I think the internet was like early 70s or something, but it wasn't like on the level it is now, like the 90s maybe.
So yeah, they basically, like, the fans just decided, no, we're done with Hank.
That's such a weird controversy in a way because it's like they could easily be like, the new writers are like, yeah, that's not, they had to change the name. They had to. That was the only way to get past it is like, this is a new person. That's Ant-Man. That's the only way to get past it.
Well, because Hank also had been working on other things. So he has a bunch. If you'll notice under Hank Pym, there's like 3 different monikers. Ant-Man's one of them. Yellow Jacket's one of them. Like, there's a bunch of different monikers that Hank has.
I got to watch the movies now. Did Hank get hit by his wife? Did they do that yet?
No.
I feel like that's the only way to make people happy at this point.
No, but like...
How do you get him to be a likable character ever again?
No.
Why?
The fans decided.
Is that a thing? But the thing is, it's like... I don't even know. That's such a weird one because it's not a real person.
I've been hard on nerd culture on here a little bit. I've been hard on my nerd boys. But let me say, in this instance, I love y'all for it. I love that they just simultaneously decided we're done with him, actually.
And that was you got to remember, that was the culture of the people, or the people that were around in the 80s. That has no bearing on who's currently writing, who's currently watching. There's probably some of them that read back then are doing it now, but most of them aren't. And it's a whole different audience now. Why can't we just let him be a new character? No. I mean, we can actually, because the movies have redeemed him. The Ant-Man name, not Hank Pym. Well, even Hank Pym has kind of been redeemed.
We softened Hank, and I'm kind of glad we did a little bit.
But that's what I'm saying. But why can't they just redesign him to be likable?
The baggage.
Because even Tony Stark. Here's the thing, right? Robert Downey Jr. Was a shitbag before and got redeemed.
But it's also Robert Downey Jr., who is incredibly charismatic and has built up
such
all
bullshit.
This good faith with these fans.
That's such bullshit.
Fans identify and love him. I mean, just, as much as I love Michael Douglas, not Kurt Douglas.
Guy that had throat cancer, which I don't know if they did. I think at some point they denied or something, but
he managed to scoop Catherine Zeta-Jones. Okay.
Do you know what if I remember this correctly, do you know why he said he got throat cancer?
Yeah.
Apparently
that's scientifically.
Really? That's a real thing.
Get those HPV shots, guys.
Guys?
And girls.
They came out with that after I got too old for it.
I say guys, kind of like they say dude, good for
okay. So it's a chick. It's a chick that gets it.
Dudes.
It's a chick that gets it, right? Is that something that came out after we got older? Because
can get it too.
I remember seeing those commercials, but I was like, I'm not even in the age range anymore when they started making commercials.
You can still get it if you want it.
I don't think you can. After a certain age, it doesn't really do its job. I don't know, but
it is a thing that can happen. Is it super common? Again, this is why you use protection. This is why you take all the precautions.
Okay,
you get that HPV shot.
Listen, we're on YouTube. We can't talk about those things, but we can talk about abusing. Okay.
So, anyways,
no, but I got a question. Okay, that brings up a great point though about Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
He's good looking and he's charismatic. Now, how come he's allowed?
Also spent 15 years walking around wanting you to associate him with Iron Man.
He got lucky that he's behind.
He's hanging out with all the little kids.
Yeah, you know why? He gets the budget of, Disney paid for this shit, right? For him to go to those hospitals.
Oh, probably.
I'm pretty confident they're like, oh, this is a Make-A-Wish. That's how they get a hold of him. And he's like, sure, and stuff. He could like it all he wants. But the thing is, he has a big, giant monster behind him. Who is allowed that kind of fucking thing? Like, if you're ugly looking and you're not charismatic, but you're trying to become a better person, you're not afford that luxury that he got. Imagine. Well, never mind. I can't compare that. That's
pretty
bad.
advantage is a real thing. Now, difference between him and Michael
charismatic too. You could be good looking and not charismatic, but if you have both of those, that is a deadly combination.
Yeah. So the thing with Michael Douglas is he's still fairly new to the MCU. He hasn't spent all that time doing those things. He hasn't spent a bunch of time yet.
Why are you saying Michael Douglas? Did Michael Douglas do something bad? Ant-Man is not Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas plays a character.
And that is the difference. Robert Downey Jr. wants to be known as Iron Man.
No, but here's the thing, though. You're saying it like I'm trying to wonder. Did Michael Douglas do something wrong, though?
No.
Okay, so why are you bringing that up?
Well, maybe if Michael Douglas pushed and people responded to the character, maybe they would have done a thing, or it's about the investment in the character. We didn't invest a lot in Hank Pym. We invested a lot in Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr.
Have you ever seen Robert Downey Jr. in an interview before he became Iron Man?
Yeah.
So different. After he got that role, he has literally talked exactly like he talks in the Iron Man films. That fast-paced talking.
Well, because a lot of it is improv.
Witty marks
It's a lot of
remarks.
that. A lot of Iron Man was improv. They basically, Favreau would tell him, okay, in this scene we need to get from point A to point B, and we need to stop here and do this, this, and this. You need to get this, and point across. I go.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really have much of a shooting script because, they just kept improvising.
When does the new Black Widow movie come out?
At this point, I don't know. I don't remember what it's been pushed back to.
It's this year, right?
I think. But yeah, I don't know.
Dude, it has been so long since the last Marvel film.
I know.
It's coming out. It's going to be 2 years by the time that comes out. That is a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel like 2 years, but I think Spider-Man was the last one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a whole lifetime
Far
ago.
From Home. Mm-hmm.
It was so long ago. How come did they not have any plans for another movie before the pandemic hit?
Yeah. Black Widow.
But that was going to be like a year later.
There was gonna be Black Widow.
They went from
after that we were gonna do another Black Panther.
Dude, they went.
Bitch.
I think they delayed
Chadwick.
Yeah, I know. I think they delayed the movies or they paused them so that there were no way you could get spoilers because they're not filming or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then combined the pandemic and they're like, fuck, we're so far behind now. Because it's like, if that was a year later, that's pretty crazy because they were ramping up where I think that within a year of Spider-Man coming out, like prior, within that 365 days, I think we had 3 fucking films.
Mm-hmm.
And, 2 years later, nothing. It's a weird thing because it was getting really used to seeing a movie every
few months. Yeah.
Yeah. It was less than 6 months. It got to a point where it was every 6 months. And then all of a sudden you have that year where it's like 3 fucking films in 1 year and then nothing.
Which that's going to be an interesting wrinkle.
The 2 years.
Well,
they could write that in.
No more Chadwick.
Uh-huh. So, how are they gonna fucking do the transition?
The king is dead. Long live Queen Shuri.
Yeah, but how are they? The thing is, you got to show something, right? How are you gonna show it? No, but okay. How much time we got left? We got fucking. Oof. We got like about 6 minutes. We have 3 minutes until the 25-minute mark again.
So what I think they'll do is we're gonna start right off at T'Challa's death.
A funeral.
Yes.
I think that's the only way. I mean, unless it's the same parent company though that does the Star Wars deaths and stuff where they CGI the fuck out of those people.
Don't do
so
it,
they
guys.
might do that for the beginning. You know what? They don't have to kill him off.
Listen to me. Don't do it.
No. Listen,
that.
I think it would be sweeter if they didn't kill him off and he just. Are they allowed in his culture to just hand it over?
Yeah.
You don't have to die.
King can abdicate.
Okay.
Abdication.
I think they might. I mean, it's gonna be such a rushed beginning, but I think they might hand it over and he could have a conversation with her. Would that not be sweeter than him being dead?
Well, I think they'd already got started on 2, so now I think they're just gonna have to...
he could have a conversation with her and pass it in some sweet thing that he says, and then they somehow explain why he's not in it anymore. Maybe he's retiring, but he's so young looking. He looked really young when he got it. Mm-hmm. So
it's
wow. He was gonna get like at least 2 other films.
It's sad
because most of them get 3 films. Like Thor got 3. Ant-Man's already gotten 2 of them so far. Mm-hmm. He's gonna get another one soon, probably. Thor's like on what is it, 4 or 5 now? This is gonna be the 5th one coming up.
Movies, there's 3.
Now
he's been part of a bunch of the ensemble movies.
Thor, Dark World,
and then Ragnarok,
and then we're gonna have the 4th one coming up.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Do you think he's gonna make it to like a 5th film? That'd be crazy.
Maybe we'll see, but that'll be fun.
What else do you do with Thor?
I want to see Natalie Portman.
Is that the passing of the torch? Are they just passing the torch now for every character of the OGs?
That's literally what happens.
Captain America's gone. Iron Man's gone, which he passed it to Spider-Man. Captain America passed it to Falcon. Bucky's just the third wheel. Which originally it was all about him and Bucky. I thought him and Bucky were best friends.
They are.
They literally yeah, dude. They were like, there was a whole fucking movie about it.
Steve knows Bucky doesn't want it.
Because Bucky's worried he'll hear one of those German or Russian words and then switch again. Mm-hmm. Didn't they program that out of him?
I don't know. I think, again, though, I don't think Bucky wants it, and Steve knew that. Whereas Falcon was over here like, let's go. I'm ready. Another lap.
Well, they pretty much, dude, the Winter Soldier, they gave like nothing to after that. They basically explained he killed, what was it, Iron Man's parents? Mm-hmm. That's like the biggest thing about his character. And then they just put him off to the side until they need him for some big thing.
Well, that made sense. He'd been hurt and they're trying to kind of deprogram him.
But I feel like the writers have nothing to do with him. Like,
well, we'll see now.
Just pay attention to what he's doing. It just seems like nothing. He's in a fucking hut somewhere with a beard.
Well, they were deprogramming him in Wakanda.
Yeah, well, that's a writer saying that. They're just trying to give you an excuse of why he's not being utilized. Mm-hmm. So you just pay attention to like what they're doing with him. It's like nothing. So, and then they gave a lot to the Falcon. So it just makes sense because they have built it that way. Well,
we're also about to get interlocked between.
We're about to get a show finally.
Bucky and we're getting the Bucky and Falcon show.
Yeah. Is this pre-Captain America?
We also got the Black Widow thing, which, where was Bucky?
I don't remember.
Russia, in the Red Room. Where was Black Widow?
You think he's going to be the villain?
Russia, in the Red Room.
Dude, they can't do... No, by Civil War, he's out.
Yeah, but...
This is after Civil War.
In the comics, they say that
comics
Bucky taught her. Okay. Bucky was one of her teachers.
But if he ends up being like a villain or something, which he can't be, villain,
but I think they're so boring. They're gonna dovetail.
Dude, the villain looks so bad.
Like Florence is gonna
for Black Widow.
Well, what I think we're doing because I have a feeling we're gonna have Florence be the antagonist and then the protagonist. When she finds out that Black Widow's dead, I think she's going to take up the mantle. But
this whole movie is before that, so they're not going to be able to reveal that.
I think she could be the antagonist. And then she's going to come around, and then...
I feel like anybody that tries to watch these new movies are going to be so fucking lost.
We'll see.
Imagine you've never seen any of them, and you go to like the next movie. All of these references, all of these characters you don't know anything about. They just assume at this point everybody's seen everything or a majority of it, especially Disney Plus that's out now. You can watch everything.
I also we are starting to introduce new characters, which is why we saw Captain Marvel's little niece. Dude, she's somebody.
If we start watching all of these movies in order, we might get them done by the time Black Widow comes out. Might. There's like 20 something fucking films. There's like 25 or something. It's crazy.
I'm kind of excited for this new group. I think this is going to be fun. We've got Falcon. We're also bringing in Shang. Is that his name?
Are you talking about the rings thing?
Yes.
I don't know.
So we got him. Then in the new generation for
Iron
Man, we could get Riri.
Okay, we got to move forward because I don't know how long it's been since the 25-minute mark went again. So hopefully this is still going. If not, it ended abruptly on the YouTube version. Check us out on YouTube if you're doing the listening and stuff. There's going to be a video. But we're going to let you go. Have a good one. We'll see you next Friday. So long and farewell.